What are you afraid of?
Cucumbers.
We all have those stupid fears, or at least tease friends for having them. Clowns, cotton balls, beards, you name it, someone's afraid of it.
Libby here has a fear of Jell-O.
While Megan has a fear of rubber bands.
Let's look at a select few of the dumbest fears we could come up with.
Kicking it off with one we all know and love, hippopotamonstrosis squipedaliophobia, or a fear of long words. Here's the thing about hippopotamonstrosis squipedaliophobia, though. When you're sharing your diagnosis, wouldn't you be scared shitless?
And then there's the fear of beards. Yes, even Santa Claus's snowy white locks. The fear of hearing good news, which is completely unexpected, but what would they rather hear? The school burned down, the town water supply ran out, the cat's dead.
And fear of success, which I'm going to claim I have to explain my constant failures. Fear of flowers, which can make for a pretty dismal day of frolicking through the fields. And the fear of happiness, which makes me pretty sad to think about.
The fear of money, so I guess it's Venmo or credit cards for them. The fear of bananas, whether that means bananas in general or just slipping on the peel, it's up to each person.
And fear of cotton balls. No jokes to make about this one, because the fear itself is a joke.
But how exactly does one find themselves caring if you're looking at a bunch of cotton balls?
Well, it's not the cotton balls they're afraid of.
Imagine the worst night of your life. Whatever horrible thing is happening, the house is on fire, a freak tornado is ripping through your town, the phone rings with bad news about a relative. And then, while in the midst of suffering, your eyes fall on some cotton balls. Now, every time you think of that bad night, you think cotton balls. And every time you see cotton balls, you're transported back to that night.
In the simplest of terms, fears based on past experience act like PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Most people think to combat-induced PTSD, car accidents, disasters they were in, but even mildly traumatizing experiences can still cause a similar fear reaction in the form of phobias.
Any object contained in a horrible situation can take a person back to it.
It can come in the form of that cutie you fell for when you were a cesspool of hormones in high school, the one who was the only one in your grade with a full beard and that made him look so mature, the one you were convinced you were in love with until you got a call from Ashley to tell you that Kate told her that she heard that Beard Boy and Brittany were getting real cozy, and then you got a text from Beard Boy telling you that he's leaving you for Brittany, and now whenever you see a beard, you think of Beard Boy and how he abandoned you, and you're afraid of that abandonment, so you're afraid of beers. Well, you're really afraid of abandonment, but the beards stand in for that.
Stupid fears tend to come from either two things. They remind the fearer, feary, person who fears, whatever, of some horrible, terrible, no good time in their life, like the time they crashed a car trying to button a button. Or they stand for deeper fears. Fear of flowers. They remind you of the arrangements at funeral, and therefore remind you of death. It's not so unreasonable to fear death, is it?
And back to hippopotamonstrosis squipedaliophobia. We're seeing that long word constantly reminds you of when you screwed up pronouncing desafortunadamente in front of your whole Spanish class and made a goddamn fool out of yourself. Kind of like the fear of public speaking, which stands in for the fear of failure. PTSD can be smaller bad situations, but the person still feels the same sense of fear. Butterflies in the stomach, heart beating faster than my calc grade is dropping, vision narrowing, and the ringing in your ears. Of course, not all phobias manifest from PTSD, but they both come from anxiety disorders and therefore can share the same roots.
Everyone has their own milder versions of stupid fears. Clowns, cotton balls, beards, bananas, whatever it is. Our fears are our own tiny world of sweats, nerves, and memories. That beloved jiggly dessert that makes you turn your head but sends a shiver down your body that you're afraid of because you're afraid to puke again. Completely irrational, but it exists.
The fear that the colorful office supply will snap back on you and burn like the pain of a million suns.
Will that actually happen? Would it actually hurt that much?
Nope, but you're still afraid.